time kills deals. If you wait a day or 2 hours even to call somebody back, the chances of converting that greatly diminish.
The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, show number 578. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. Thanks for joining us. Always great real estate talk right here. So wherever you're listening, thank you for joining us. We're glad you're here, and we have super real estate professionals on the show today. We're going to start with Ed Wolf, broker owner of Beth Wolf Realtors. Ed, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it.
Well, first of all, Ed, welcome back, and let's tell people about Beth Wolf Realtors, and we want to say hello to Beth right now. I know she's listening, but let's tell people about the company in case they don't know.
My mother, chairman, founder of the company, founded the company in 1978, raised my sister and I by taking us around in the car, watching her sign contracts on the hood of the car and rolls of quarters in the front so she could stop at the payphone to make the call to schedule the appointment. I would be sitting in the restaurant on the MLS books. That would be my booster seat whenever we needed them. But so I guess real estate came to me relatively naturally. And as an SOB, son of a broker, I decided to step into the business myself. And for the last 33 years, have made a living and are now putting my two kids through college on selling real estate.
It's interesting how you paint the picture of what would be called the good old days by some people's thoughts. I mean, It goes way back, and I'm picturing so many people talk about how their parents were in real estate and their signs in the trunk, signing contracts on the car. That's even better yet.
The reality is it's a people business, and no matter where technology goes, no matter where the real estate market goes, we're really dealing with people, and we're helping them achieve the goals that they're trying to achieve, helping them get their families into a space where they can grow and live and enjoy life, which we all work so hard to do.
We'll give people an idea, and also geographically, first of all, Ed, let's tell people maybe the last 10, 20 transactions so they get an idea of where you're helping buyers and sellers the most lately. What part of Houston are you doing most of your work?
We handle the whole Houston area. I've got 35 associates and work all over town. I personally do a lot of business in town. So inside the loop, our office is in the Galleria area on St. James Place. We've been there since 1987, so a little while now. The Tanglewood area, the Meyerland area, Bel Air, Westview, Memorial, River Oaks have been the last few sales that I've done recently, and listing one tomorrow on Terwilliger and Briarcroft for it's a recent construction at $3.2 million, so it'll be a neat big house.
Well, a lot of people, we always want to know about market information. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Give us an idea from your perspective in the areas that you're working. What's it like right now for you?
You know, the last 7 to 10 years in the Houston market has been an unusual market when you look at it over time. And we've consistently been putting properties on the market, they've been selling. Putting them on the market, they've been selling. And 30 days, 15 days, sometimes negative 5 days was the days on the market when you look back at the last 7 to 10 years. And that was not normal, nor is it sustainable. And a healthy real estate market is when you've got a property on the market for 90 to 120 days. You've got to actually work to find a buyer. That buyer falls in love with it, but maybe finds other houses and is comparing back and forth before they make a final decision. And we're not in this multi-offer situation with 5 people fighting over the same property. That would be a normal market. And we haven't been in that normal market in a long time. There's a lot of agents who started their career in a market that really shouldn't exist. So we're moving back to what's really a cyclical market where we see different time frames throughout the year are going to be more active, and we're going to see people put their properties on the market in the springtime, maybe late summer and early fall. Houston does have a large relocation market, so we do have turnover year-round, which is good. But in the end, I think we're going to see ups and downs throughout the year that give us a more predictable market. And that's better for everybody, truthfully, buyers, sellers, and the real estate brokerage community.
And as you're helping the buyers, and you mentioned relocation, how often are you helping people that are coming from out of the state?
About 30% of our business is relocation based. So when I say relocation, that means there's a third-party relocation company that's engaged or involved in moving the individual that we're working with, whether they're selling or buying. If you look at the overall market in the Houston area, it's ranged between 25 and 50% of the overall market. And in some areas, it's 60 to 80% of the market, just depending on the geographic location. So we do have a high volume of relocation, and all of the major relocation companies operate in the Houston area.
And as far as interest rates, we hear so much about interest rates in the world now. You take a sale like a listing like a $3 million listing. Is that typically, you think that's going to be a cash deal historically? Are they even worried about interest rates when we're spending that much money on a home?
Almost everything that we're doing in the $1 million+ range, the people are capable of buying it cash or have the assets that they're borrowing against where they can adjust their affordability. Interest rates aren't an issue, right? Where interest rates play a role is in the first-time home buyer market, and scarily, the first-time home buyer market is in the $500,000 to $700,000 range now in the inner city area. So we're seeing first-time home buyers that are taking on a mortgage of $480,000, $500,000 on a $700,000 home, and that's if they're lucky enough to have the down payment. It does heavily impact also the people that can't afford to bring the capital to the transaction. If you don't have 20% to put down, the barriers to building the ability to purchase a home are just increasing, whether it's higher costs of insurance, which is why we use Stewart Insurance on a regular basis, because the higher cost of insurance has been an issue.
Exactly, yeah.
And but I think the costs layer, so property taxes are up, values are up, so property taxes are up, insurance is up, interest rates are up, and that just increases that barrier for the new home buyer, for the person who's just entering the market.
And being in the profession now for over 30 years and having a team with over 30-some people, 35 or so, I think you said, give us an idea when people think about becoming a realtor or they want to become part of the profession. I'm sure you've seen that in all these years. What are some of the qualities that you would tell someone that might be out there listening now that says, oh, man, I see all the TV shows or whatever, I want to become a realtor? What are some of the things that you see from your experience that are the top qualities that are necessary to be successful in the real estate world as a realtor?
Caring, empathy, understanding, and the ability to work with people to help them find and meet their goals. If you're focused on the client and the client's needs, then you'll do incredible things in this business. If you're focused on the aesthetics and you love to remodel homes or you like to watch HGTV, that's not the real world of helping people buy real estate. It's talking to somebody at 9 o'clock on a Friday night who's second guessing whether or not they should move forward on the transaction, or helping them understand the impact of the cost of the repairs and things that they need to do to the home and the value that that's going to add in the end to them, even though the seller's not willing to pay for 100% of those repairs. Having those kinds of conversations and helping people understand so that they can make the best decisions for themselves. We don't make a decision for anybody. We put options on the table. We explain how the options benefit them or don't, and then let them make the final decision of whether or not they want to move forward on that transaction in that house. And if you can do that, then you're going to do well in this business.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned a Friday night phone call where someone is probably getting pretty close to closing, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh no!" As a family or an individual, they're like, "Ed, I don't know what to do. What should I do?" So there's a counseling and psychology has a big role in being a real estate professional.
It's very important. I was a psychology major, and I use that every day in my real estate business. Thought about going back to school and getting my counselor's degree and all of that, and realized that I was doing more for my clients here than I would do sitting in an hour session with somebody, listening to their problems and trying to tell them how to handle them.
Right, your realtors are counselors, and that's just part of it. To be a real estate professional, in my observation, you have to be so many things, have so many tools available to help your buyers and sellers. And you have such a calm exterior. I don't know how you do it, but it's very measured, and you've seen a lot of things. What are some of the other things that have helped you be successful to be able to be in this for over 30 years?
Experience. I think, every day I learn something new, and I know enough to know that I will never know everything. And it is, I can't tell you the situations I get faced with on a regular basis that I have never seen before. And in 33 years of doing this, with the number of transactions, I've got 47 transactions this year, and I still learn something new every day. And that's what's exciting about it. That's what I love about this business. It is 7 days a week. It is 24 hours a day, and you can't turn it off. But we're engaged in the life of our clients and the people we work with, and I wouldn't trade that for the world.
We're talking with Ed Wolf with Beth Wolf Realtors. As we talk a lot on this show about people coming in and relocation and that, how often are you helping sellers where they're saying, "Hey, Ed, my job or something's taking me outside of Houston or outside of Texas even"? How often are you seeing people leave Texas for whatever reason?
I have a cleaning crew right now at a house in the Meyerland area where they've just been relocated to New Jersey. They are preparing boxes and everything to move, so we've got to get pictures there Wednesday night. It's a daily occurrence. They're not being relocated by a third-party relocation company. They have to handle the move on their own, but it's difficult for them. And pets are a big deal. I tell you, the pets are sometimes the biggest hurdle for some of these folks, especially if they're moving overseas or other locations. There's entire networks of people that handle the movement of your pets. If you've got to take your pet to Borneo, there's a company that can do it. We had 2 bulldogs had to go to Borneo, and that was a 6-month experience for those poor little bulldogs.
Oh my! You just brought up a whole nother. That's the first time we've
been quarantined.
We realtors and dogs, and we all love dogs, but sometimes it seems like realtors, the dog is a great companion, no doubt, but they're such a part of a family, and we've never talked about the handling of pets so far on this show. But bulldogs in Borneo could be the name of my next book, and I don't even know what it'll be about, but I like the sound of that. Yeah. But you're helping people move the dogs. You're familiar with the different protocols and things like that.
Yeah, we have to pay attention to all of the details and help them have the time necessary from the point of contract to close to be able to accomplish all those goals. And so sometimes we have to do the lease back where the seller can stay in the property for 3 or 6 weeks before, beyond closing. Closed one this morning that they'll have a lease back till the end of October. And they're happy to do that because they're finishing the house that they're remodeling just a neighborhood away.
And a while ago when you were on the show last, I think you mentioned your dog at the time. Was it a lab?
Oh, no. I had, I did have.
With the flood and jumping on the bed?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. In the middle of
Hurricane Harvey?
Actually, Memorial Day flood. We were at home and the dog had to basically live on the bed until we could figure out a way to get out because there was water as far as the eye could see. And that same dog 2 years later in Harvey got out on a bass boat from my mother's house. And If the dog could talk, I'm sure I would have a lot of therapy to deal with there. But,
No doubt about it. Well, Ed, on that note, let's tell people how they can reach you, Ed Wolf.
you can reach me at 713-622-9339. That's our office number, 713-622-9339. And my website is www.bethwolff.com.
And we say hello once again to Beth. Ed, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
As we continue, let's talk to Ryan Cutter. His company is Cutter Real Estate Group. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. Glad to be here. Yeah, I run the Cutter Real Estate Group powered by Connect Realty out of the Woodlands.
Now and also we want to say Cutter, that's with a K.
Been saying it my whole life, and then they write it with a C, and then I'm like, with a K, they draw a line in front of the C. I'm sure you've been there with your last name.
Exactly. Yeah, the K is something that we talk about all the time. So let's tell people, as far as they're listening, they're saying, okay, Cutter Real Estate Group, where does Ryan do most of his work primarily?
Well, I am a Montgomery County, Texas native. I live there myself. So I would say probably 67% of our business is in and around the Conroe, Montgomery, Lake Conroe, Willis, Magnolia range. That's where the bulk of it is. But we've been doing a lot up in Livingston, Onalaska, up off of Lake Livingston too.
When I first heard about Onalaska, I'm thinking, how could a place so far south, so hot and humid, have anything with the word Alaska in it? But it's cool that it does.
Yeah, it does. It's beautiful up there, man. Lake life is where it's at.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because Livingston and Onalaska, for people listening, let's tell them geographically where that is related to Houston, and what are the things people are looking for in that Lake Livingston area and the Onalaska side of the lake action for Houston.
Yeah, I mean, it's north of Houston. So if you go up to Lake Conroe, it's about 40 minutes from downtown Houston. Add another 40 minutes, 45 minutes, you'll be up in the Livingston area. And so, you know, people are usually searching for a little more elbow room, even outside of Montgomery County. From Harris County, Houston area, you go to Montgomery County, you're feeling like you're in a different world. You go even further, it's a whole nother world up there. So people looking for lake houses, cattle ranches, just usually a little more of the country feel.
So many different things can be had here in Houston, and when a lot of things come to mind, when the area you're talking about, Conroe, these are all areas that are growing Montgomery County in a very rapid way.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I was born and raised in Conroe. There's not many of us left, but I was, and it's grown. I think there was maybe 20,000 people there when I was a kid. I think we're like 120,000 in that area now. It's kind of hard to believe that there's still space for more people, but there is.
And they're still coming in.
They are. And then, yeah, it's, you know, it's a little shuffle. You got people, it's great, and then they want a little more space. They move out to the country, out west, like Montgomery, Plantersville, even heading out towards Bryan College Station.
In fact, another place comes to mind as we're talking about the lake area. So a lot of people don't know Houston has lakes, Lake Conroe, Livingston, but a place called Cold Spring.
Yes, Cold Spring.
Is that popular as well?
Yeah, it's really growing up. It's kind of between Conroe, Lake Conroe, and Livingston, and it is really growing. The New Waverly, Cold Spring area, you know, historically is ranches, farms, lots of cattle, and there's quite a few developments starting to take place in that area.
And give us an idea more about the Cutter Real Estate Group. It sounds like you're not working as the Lone Ranger if you have a Cutter Real Estate Group.
Man, and it's great. Real estate, it can be very lonely and like you're on an island. I think as humans, we like to be around people. At least I do. Yes. I think if you're going to make it in this industry, you have to like people, number one. But I've just always been a team player, and I love. Now, gratefully, I get to lead a team. I'm still in production, so I'm still producing. I don't just sit at a desk and, you know, check on people. I'm out serving clients, listing, buying, investing, commercial, residential, farm and ranch. So we have a great group, about 14 agents, no drama here. And we like it that way, and just a real heart to help people, help our clients. And then having a team has been very beneficial, that you've got a crew to work with. And I just love the spirit of what we have at the Cutter Real Estate Group.
And you also, we started with lakes, Montgomery County, but you just mentioned farm and ranch. Give us an idea of someone, let's say, and maybe this happens on a regular basis or not, I don't know. But let's say someone calls you from California,
Right.
New York City, or something like that, and they say, hey, farm and ranch, I'm interested in something, somehow they found you. What are some of the things that can be had in the farm and ranch category or under that description?
Well, it just depends. You get some people coming up out of Houston area. They want more of a leisure ranch. It's just a place for me to get out of the city, and I might have a couple head of cattle, just more of a second home getaway. And then you've got some people that are actively looking to get into ranching or raising cattle, et cetera. But man, there's just a lot of people buying dirt. They're not making any more dirt out there, right? So, it's a great thing. I encourage people, even if one day down the road, the dirt's not getting any cheaper. So the sooner you can own it, the better.
So when's a good time to buy, Ryan?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday.
You were about to say now, but it really was yesterday.
It was yesterday, yeah.
Exactly. For the most time,
Well, of all the things you could be doing, what is it about real estate that brought you into the fold, and what keeps you there, Ryan?
Hey, it's something new every day. There's no 2 days alike. There's no two clients alike. I love serving people, and I got that from my mom, and my parents modeled that, working hard and serving people. And so I feel that's one of the things that really makes me stand out in a field where every person you meet on the street knows about 200 real estate agents. And half of them is going to be their family,
Oh, I have a...
And so, but just serving people and problem solving, I get that question a lot, like, why should I use you? Or what makes you different than the other 200? I said, there's nobody that can solve problems like I solve problems. Because that's really, at the end of the day, if you're going to make it a long time, you have to be a professional problem solver, because especially as the market, the industry changes, times change, the world we live in change. We all know there's problems that are going to have to be solved. So I just get to work on the real estate side of it.
And as far as your mode of operation for success, you're not only helping buyers and sellers yourself, but you're also in leadership, leading a team. What are some of the things that are really core principles that help you do this so effectively?
Hustle. You can't teach somebody hustle. That comes from within. So you got to have hustle. You got to love people. This is a people business, and no technology can really take that away, because at the end of the day, people are involved. It's slowing down enough to really hear somebody's needs and their desires, dreams, and goals. I love to sit down with people. The first conversation is just like, paint the picture for me. Tell me what we're trying to accomplish. What's the dream? What's the goals? Because they think it might just be about selling a house or buying a house. But a lot of times when you hear the dreams and the goals, a good real estate professional can help think outside just that one thing. It starts to build that relationship and that rapport to be, an industry professional in their life.
And as far as technology is important. Yes, the connection with people, relationships, we can, and it surprises me anytime I'll reach out to a realtor and not get a phone call back, but maybe a text. I mean, the personal touch is so important. As far as the trends, though, how do you use technology? Let's say that in conjunction with the people skills and those things. What do you use about technology? Do you use social media a lot, or? I
do use social media. We have it. It's kind of a necessary thing these days. Am I the best at it? Probably not. I still handwrite all my notes. I carry around notepads with me, and I just set it on the ground. Otherwise, I'd pick it up and prove it to you. But technology is key. Speed of communication. I think we live in a day and age where people just want things so quickly. And if you're going to make it and be successful in the industry, you have to respond and call people back. And I get asked the question, what's the special sauce, or what's the key ingredients? And I really say it's like, answer your phone, call people back quickly. The first to respond is typically going to make it happen. How do we sell listings like we do? How do I sell listings, commercial or residential, especially in commercial industry, is why we've been able to make a name for ourselves, is because it's like, you got to make things happen. Like, time kills deals. If you wait a day or 2 hours even to call somebody back, the chances of converting that greatly diminish. So technology's key. I love text messages. I love emails. A good old-fashioned phone call, though, or in person, you can pick up a whole lot more on vocal tone and just the heart behind what's being communicated.
Well, I'm with you right there.
And I got teenage girls, and I'm like, okay, you can't solve everything through Snapchat. It's like, you don't know what's going on. Like call somebody.
Say that the part again about time kills deals. Is that
Time
what you
always
said?
kills deals. Yeah.
That's the first time we've heard someone say that.
Oh, really?
Time kills deals. That's so true. Mm-hmm. And the thing about the phone calls, I mean, you got to answer the phone right then and there, in my opinion, or get back to the person quickly if you're tied up.
Or build the systems to help accommodate it. And that's where, this is a 24/7, 365 industry, but I also have a family, and you building it up, man. I was the guy behind trash can at Disney World making phone calls, and hey, just go ride Dumbo. I got to make this phone call. But as you get smarter and you can scale a little bit, and we're still super small, but I love it that I have a team. I've got the right support staff that if I need a day off or my kids need me to be present for something, I can do that, and my clients are still getting top-notch service and with speed.
We're talking with Ryan Cutter Real Estate Group. Something very important, Ryan. We hear that you just added to the family a French bulldog. Is this true?
It is true. My wife added a French bulldog to the family. Yeah, little Evangeline.
So cute, huh?
Yeah, and she's really cute.
So
I feel like I have a newborn in the house anymore. I was like, man, we're getting close to grandkid age, and now I just added a newborn to the house.
Well, to me, all dogs are photogenic, but the French bulldog somehow is right up there in the upper realms of.
And my wife's going to love that you brought this up on actually radio.
And your wife's
now
name
I'm going to have
is?
to admit that the dog's pretty cute.
What's her name?
Jamie, my wife.
Well, Jamie, we say hi, and we're glad you got a French bulldog in addition to the other two great dogs that you have at the family.
Yes.
Well, Ryan, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
Hey, I think in an age with technology and stuff, ChatGPT doesn't fix everything. If you're going to do something involving the sale or investing or buying, like work with a professional, work with somebody with experience that can handle things. And we are in the age of the professional, I think, in real estate. And, with everything and the different housing booms and whatnot, there was a lot of people getting into the industry where that was their normal. We're kind of moved back into it's the age of the professional. You got to have a seasoned pro that's helping guide you through the process. So me and my team would love to serve anybody in this area.
We are in the age of the professional. Ryan, let's tell people how to reach you.
Yeah, I'll give you my cell phone number. It's 832-588-1006. Again, 832-588-1006.
Ryan, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks, Bill. Appreciate you.
Well, it's that time again to talk money. We're going to talk with Brittany Adams. Her company's called Union Home Mortgage. Hey, Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, here you are. Money is the lifeblood of almost everything. So no show would be complete without talking to you about money. So let's tell people about Union Home Mortgage.
Awesome. So we recently joined with Union Home. We were locally here with NRL. Nothing changed. We just now have a bigger portfolio. And so Union Home has really opened up a lot of doors for us here in the Houston market. So our portfolio has expanded tremendously.
So then as far as the area that you serve, we're talking about Houston, fourth largest city. So as far as your activities, for the most part, are you centered geographically or kind of evenly over the whole Houston area?
Yeah. So for us, our corporate office is over here off Augusta and Memorial, but I actually really do service the Cypress Tomball area. However, I can work the whole state of Texas, and I'm actually licensed in multiple states.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So then that having the license in other states gives you, I think, maybe more of a knowledge of what's happening outside of Texas and that sort of thing, makes you all around.
Yeah, well, a lot of my clients are now coming back for their second homes and investments, and they actually a lot of times are not purchasing here in Texas. Sometimes it's California, Colorado, you name it, we do it. So I just recently had somebody close out in Florida. I wasn't licensed there, but I went ahead and got it so that way we could do the deal and make sure that it was super streamlined, just like the original purchase was.
Money, 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 money.
You know?
It's great money. So you mentioned Cypress. So as far as Cypress, we could say every area of Houston, north, south, east, and west, it's all growing as it expands. But Cypress is its own thing. People love Cypress, and
Yes.
it too is growing. Give us a word from a mortgage professional like yourself about the Cypress area and what's happening in your world there.
Development. It's funny because they were just talking about buy dirt. It's kind of like the country song, right? Like you want to make sure you're buying the dirt. You want to get in and you want to make sure that you are in areas that you know is going to develop. example, like even the Magnolia area too. We just really want to make sure that we are moving forward and, just doing the best that we can.
And as far as, do you work in the commercial realm as well, or just because when you think of the buying dirt and knowing where the dirt is, I'm thinking, especially on that Cypress area in 99,
yes,
all those places like Amazon and these big, massive structures. I mean, they bought a lot of dirt when they built those distribution centers.
Yeah, so I actually personally live off 99 myself, and it is just developing. So there's lots of commercial development going on. I focus on residential. We have a lot of people that are actually moving into the area who are relocating, and they are getting these houses off the market quickly. Our time on market is actually pretty low.
Well, also we're hearing interest rates. We're hearing so much about how the interest rates are going down. So are you seeing that if I call you up or someone calls you up, they hear you're a family and they
First
say,
question.
Yeah, what's the interest rate? But are they really coming down in a significant way from your perspective? What are you seeing?
Okay, so a lot of times people really will call and the focus is, hey, what's the interest rate? Well, I also kind of rebuttal and say, hey, listen, the interest rates are important, but we're not buying because of an interest rate. We're buying because of a lifestyle change. We're moving, we're relocating, we're getting married, we're getting divorced, kids are going off to college. There's lots of reasons why we're purchasing. So interest rates shouldn't drive the reason you go under contract. So with that, I will say that when the Fed speaks, the mortgage companies have already baked in and reacted to what we already know is going to happen. So whenever we hear, that the Fed met and interest rates are coming down, most times, 10 out of 10, the mortgage company has already anticipated that. So the rate has already handled what it needed to. So example, last week, everybody was super excited, but I had better rates, the week before. So we're already a little bit ahead of the curve. So whenever, the Fed and everybody's going to meet again this week, what we do basically is we anticipate it. And so that's why I always rebuttal with, hey, it's really not because of the interest rate. Tell me where you're at in your lifestyle. What can I do to help you get into a home? What's your need? And that really just kind of changes the conversation. And it also weeds out buyers who are serious or not serious about the process too. So I think that's super important.
And as far as the types of loans, as in your world, there are a lot of different types of loans. How do you match up the right loan, the right down payment to the family or individual?
Yes.
Because I would think that counseling from your standpoint is very important. How do you do it?
So I really like to do things a lot different than other loan officers. I call myself a loan advisor. So whenever I have that initial conversation, let's say the realtor sends me over, the lead of their potential client. I go in, we have a conversation, and it's not a 2-minute conversation. It's, hey, tell me where you're at. How can I help you? And really what we do is once we have that application and those income and asset documentation, I go in and we start kind of weeding out which loan programs are going to be the best fit. My specialties are actually VA and self-employed. So a lot of times, we have self-employed clients who maybe have been turned away from other lenders and because of tax returns. And I say, hey, let me look at the tax returns. Prime example is I actually just had a roofer about, I think it was last month. He's in the roofing industry and he got denied by 6 different lenders. And so I met with him face to face and I said, bring your tax returns. And he hesitated. He's like, well, everybody already looked at them. I got to put 25% down. And I said, just bring them. So anyways, we looked at them and I was able to actually have him go under an FHA program. I saved him a ton of money. So he went 3.5% down, no down payment assistance. And we ended up saving him about $130,000. So that's really what I do. Yeah.
You're like a superhero.
I love it. I'm not going to lie. I know this sounds so terrible, but I love sometimes whenever they're like, hey, we couldn't get this person approved. I'm like, bring them over. Let's figure it out. So I really am a problem solver. Everything doesn't fit in a square box.
Well, it's interesting as far as the self-employed aspect, someone that is there are so many things that they have to do or family, whatever, just for their business to run properly and all the different taxes and all those things.
Yes.
But then when that person or family goes to get a loan, that's a whole nother story. So it sounds like you're well versed in that. And
love it.
And that's probably great news for those that are out there listening right now.
100%. So I really, like I said, I want to look at the tax returns, even if you've been declined or if you've been, told, hey, we have to go the bank statement route. That is like cream of the crop for me, because most times I can put them on conventional financing, put them back on FHA or VA, and just get them rocking and rolling.
Okay,
save them a ton of money.
Let's go back to the family or individual that is not self-employed,
Okay.
but what, from your perspective, you get to see all the the financial forensics of anybody that's applying. Is that correct?
I know everything but their blood type.
Okay. That's a good point.
Just kidding.
There you go. But you know a lot. And as far as, let's take, again, the family or individual,
Yep.
they're applying for a loan, and let's say they don't have a great credit rating,
Okay.
or it's even worse than not great. It's dismal.
Okay.
So at what point in the process do you know that it's that bad that you might not even, in this case, be able to resurrect this as a loan to where they need to go back and build their thing back up?
Right.
How long does it take to find that out if someone gives you all the information? And again,
Yeah.
they're not self-employed. They're just regular
it's just a
paperwork.
normal W-2. Hey, here's where we're at, hourly, salary pay, but that has nothing to do with credit score, right?
Right.
So immediately when we have the application, we run credit. No, I don't do soft pulls. I make sure that it's the full bureau ran, because that's where I can see everything. And immediately I'm going to know what that credit score is, what the mid score is, and what we need to do to get us where we need to. So something that I also do is, a long time ago, before I was actually in Department of Defense, I actually worked in credit repair. And so what I do is, I'm not a credit repair company. However, if I can look at the credit report and see, okay, if we do this, this, and this, you're going to be ready in 2 months. Prime example is, we had a client recently. He was a regular W-2 guy, and his credit score was average. And he
What
wanted,
is average, by the way?
for him being the loan type that he needed, he was a 615. And, we could go FHA for him, which is no problem, because I can go down to a 580. But I looked at his credit report and I said, hey, if you do this, this, and this, I can probably get your score up. I did not tell him how many points, because, I like to underpromise, overdeliver. And a week later, I kid you not, his score increased about 75 points. And I was able to flip him to a conventional file, and we were able to use a grant program instead. So overall, we saved him a ton of money as well. But going back to like the credit repair, I send out an action plan to the clients. It takes me like 2 or 3 hours to do, which I still do that, because not everybody's going to have perfect credit. And I don't like to tell people no, because I'm not here to burst bubbles. But what we do is we say, hey, listen, if you can follow this, this, and this, let's put you on an action plan to where you're ready and you're going to circle back to me. The rule is that, hey, if we're going to spend so much time going through these things, I hope that you would come back to me for your lending, because I'm going to check in on you. I'm going to make sure you're good. And I also tell the agent, hey, you need to make sure that they're on that you are reaching out to them at least once a month, because you don't want to lose them. Because if you're not calling them, even if their credit score is not where it needs to be, it doesn't mean they're not going to be ready in 2 months to a year. So don't lose sight of future income, really. And that's a huge deal. I have a lot of people on credit repair programs right now.
I bet people love the action plan too.
They do. It's so detailed. It really is. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not bursting bubbles. We're talking with Brittany, Brittany Adams. That's awesome, Brittany. What else should we know before we close this segment?
Yeah. So I actually did a little bit of statistics really quick. And so a lot of people are feeling like the inflation, but they don't understand where it's coming from. So what I did is I pulled some basic living necessities of where you might feel a little bit of a gut punch. Okay, so this is year over year from August to August. So it's comparing 12 months. So with food, it's up 3%. Shelter, 3.6%. Gas actually went down, so don't complain about your gas prices. It went down 6% from last August to this August. And a funny one is eggs. They went up 11%. I have 2 high schoolers, and my son is like always getting his eggs in. So 11% it went up, and coffee went up 21% from last year to this year. So if you are feeling any type of impact, it might just be in your regular day-to-day activities. However, the interest rates really have absorbed, so we're in a really great market right now.
It's time to call Brittany Adams. Brittany, let's tell people how to reach you.
All right. So my cell phone number is 832-359-3012. 832-359-3012. I knew the signal.
Brittany, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance.
Howdy, Bill. Always a pleasure.
Well, here we are once again. John, welcome to the show. And
thank you.
We love when insurance time is upon us. We can learn.
Well, thanks, and we're going to return to our series.
Let's go back to the series.
Go back to the series. So this is number 6 in our series of key insurance indicators.
I love it.
And today we're going to talk about motorcycle insurance. Because I know you've got several and maybe one on the way. So we've got 10 plus 1 KPIs for motorcycles. So the first one, and it's always usually the first one, is having liability coverage. In fact, in Texas, for motorcyclists, it's required. So what that does is with property damage or bodily injury that you would cause. Now in Texas, there are minimums $30,000 for the personal, $60,000 for an accident, and $25,000 for property damage. But if you truly want to be protected, we generally recommend much higher coverage. So $100,000 for the person, $300,000 for accident, and $100,000 for property damage. So if you truly want to be properly insured with your motorcycle, that's where you would begin, is having the right liability coverage. The next one is collision coverage, which is always important because that's damage to your bike regardless of the cause. So especially if you've got a brand new bike or you financed your bike, collision coverage is important to consider. Number 3 is comprehensive coverage. So this helps with fire or vandalism or theft, weather damage, and animal strike, which can be critical, especially if you're on a motorcycle. Or our friends here that live in Montgomery County know that deer in the evenings and early mornings jump in front of cars all the time.
Yeah, out there in Cold Springs and on Alaska, you got to watch.
Exactly. And then motorcycle thefts are higher than even the rate for cars. So that's why it's important to have the comprehensive coverage. Unfortunately, in Texas, it's very important to have uninsured or underinsured coverage. We tend to are one of the states that have the highest rate of uninsured drivers. So if somebody were to cause an accident and they didn't have coverage or didn't have enough coverage, then that's where the uninsured or underinsured coverage would come into play. Number 5 would be medical payments or personal injury protection. So the medical payments help medical bills regardless of the fault. So it can help offset some medical bills regardless of whose fault it is. And the personal injury personal injury protection can come into play, maybe offset lost income or loss of household services. So if you had, for example, weren't able to work for a period of time because of the injury, that can help offset that as well. So that's a nice one to have. This one's really important for you, Bill, number 6, and that's the accessories. As much chrome as you put on your bikes you have the saddlebags and all, you want to make sure that you're protecting that and keeping that. And many times the standard policies, if they do provide some protection for the accessories, it's very limited. So you want to make sure that you've got enough coverage, especially as you continue to chrome out your Harley.
That's half the fun, John.
It is. So we want to make sure that you've got that coverage. Roadside assistance and towing, number 7, that's an important one to have, especially for those riders that go on long-distance trips. Having that roadside assistance is great. Gap insurance, or sometimes you'll hear it called loan or lease coverage. So if your bike was totaled and you were still paying it off, the difference between the loan amount and the actual cash value can cover that. So you're not stuck with that difference. So that's always nice to have. Number 9 is helmet. Texas requires helmets for anybody that's under 21. And if you're over 21, you have to complete a motorcycle safety course, or you've got to carry with you proof of medical insurance. But even if you have those two, it's still better to wear a helmet beyond just the safety aspect. But from an insurance perspective, it can influence claims and liability arguments in an accident. So the fact that, again, it's one of those, have I done everything I can to minimize the damage? And being able to say, yes, I was wearing a helmet goes that long way, because if you don't have a helmet on, then there could be the argument that that was your choice, and therefore maybe it's not the other party's responsibility. So beyond just from a safety perspective, from an insurance perspective, wearing a helmet is important. And then number 10 is passenger coverage. Not everybody offers passenger coverage, or if they do, it may be minimized. So you need to check the liability and medical coverage to make sure it's adequate passenger coverage. So when you have your girlfriends on the back of the bike with you, Bill,
I have 2 helmets.
That's right.
Safety first.
Safety first. And then, of course, the 10 plus 1 is Stewart Insurance. If you would truly like to have your motorcycle properly insured, come see us at Stewart Insurance.
That sounds awesome, John. And people, not just in Houston, if you have a motorcycle and you're in Indiana, Pennsylvania, you could help them there too, right?
Absolutely. We're fortunate enough to be able to help our clients all over the U.S., both from a personal and a business perspective.
Unbelievable. We don't think about it. And I wonder, do you get a discount if you have 2 motorcycles? Does the rate go down?
No, but what you can do is motorcycles at times can be part of that combination with your home. So you can put those together, again, with the same company to try to be able to reduce premiums on both cases. So there are some things that we can do from that perspective.
Because actually, as we were thinking about it, at least I was thinking about talking to our guests here today, these areas like the lake areas, all this, a lot of people have a lot of toys, and a lot of them are motorcycles. They have the metal buildings. They might have 1, 2 for the whole family. So,
yeah. Well, if you spend any time in Montgomery on Saturdays and Sunday mornings, you're going to have a lot of motorcyclists out there, because it's running through the Sam Houston National Forest. It's a great run. Running 249 and 149 is a great run. 105 out towards Plantersville and College Station is a great run. So we see a lot of cyclists out there. So, one, let's be careful and be aware they're out there and look for our brethren on the road. But also, if you are that cyclist, make sure that you are properly covered. So in case something bad happens, you can get back to normal as quickly as possible.
And that's the key, to be properly insured.
Absolutely. And all that really means is that you understand the coverage that you have. So, for example, if you were looking at coverage for your motorcycle, that you truly understand what coverage you do and don't have, and you're comfortable with that. Because so that, where we all get in trouble is if we assume we have coverage and we don't. And we would hate for you to be in a situation where you filed a claim and it's denied because you did not have coverage and you weren't aware of that. So that's for us, whether it's a very robust policy or a very conservative policy. As long as you're comfortable with what you do and don't have, then in our world, you're properly insured.
John, what else should we know?
Well, if you would like to be properly insured for your motorcycle, any of your other personal property, your home, for wind, flood, watercraft, you can reach us at 866-798-2827. For real estate businesses, brokers, independent title attorney agents, property management firms, we can write your business insurance as well, and you can reach us at 866-798-2827. Learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
And what if I'm in Onalaska?
We have a brand new hotline for Onalaska, and that's 866-798-2827.
John, thanks for being with us.
Bill, always a pleasure.
Stewart Title's business development people are super awesome, not just here in Houston, the 17 or so that we have, but all over the United States. Right now, we have Hope Moy once again. Hope, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Good to see you.
Let's tell people your offices, once you are in a growing area, as we talked about the growth in the northwest of Houston, let's tell people about your offices quickly.
So I have 2 offices. I am in the Magnolia office and the Conroe office. I have 5 fantastic escrow officers between the 2. We are located on 1488 and 336.
So as far as the transactions, we talked a little bit about farm and ranch. In your offices, you must have some farm and ranch transactions every now and then.
Absolutely. We live in Montgomery County, so we definitely deal with farm and ranch, and then alongside residential, commercial, equities, home loans, lot takedowns, builders, all the things.
Hope, let's tell people how they can reach you.
Yes, sir. So you can call me at 346-224-1908. Again, my number is 346-224-1908. We would love to partner with you. Give me a call.
Hope, thanks for being with us. Hope we see you soon.
Next week. Thank you, Bill.
Until then, Ed. Well, he's back as we close the show. Here is Ed Wolf with Beth Wolf Realtors. Ed, as we close things down, what else should we know?
I think it's just important. I enjoyed listening to the Mortgage Minute and understanding a little more about where things are. Interest rates don't impact why you should or should not buy. You've got to step out, put yourself into the market, and realize that paying rent or paying somebody else to live in their property doesn't give anything to you in return. So.
No doubt about it. Ed, let's tell people once again how they can reach out to you at Beth Wolf Realtors.
You can find us at 713-622-9339 or at www.bethwolff.com.
Ed, great to see you again. Thanks for being
Bill.
with us.
Appreciate it.
And here he is, Ryan Cutter Real Estate Group. Well, Ryan, a final word. What else should we know?
Oh, it's interesting time out there, and I think more than ever, having the right team helping you with real estate and life. We're not just real estate people. I feel like I'm a counselor, a mediator, all those things, marriage counselor sometime, but having the right team to get you through whatever time of life you're going through, and that includes Stewart Title as a great title option too. But if it's Montgomery County, Lake Conroe, up to Lake Livingston, we're here to serve all your real estate needs.
Ryan, let's tell people how they can reach you.
My cell phone is 832-588-1006. I look forward to your call. 832-588-1006.
Ryan, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate you.
Tell those dogs and the family we said hey.
Will do.
And now, Brittany Adams is back. Union Home Mortgage. Well, Brittany, what else should we know?
That I am here to help you in all your transaction needs. And if you don't know if you're ready, it's always worth just giving me a call so we can see where you land.
Right there at Union Home Mortgage. Brittany, what's the phone number?
832-359-3012. 832-359-3012.
Thanks for being with us, Brittany. And also a word, we have Kim Dawkins here. Reach out to Kim right there at Stewart Title in Cypress. Doing tremendous work. The phone number in Cypress is, and the phone number for Kim in the Cypress Stewart Title office is 713-203-8640, 713-203-8640. A super team is there to help you with all your needs there in the Cypress area. And again, I am Bill Knapik right here together with John Bramlett. Check us out at stewart.com/radio in case you want to see the tremendous guests here or access the past show archives. It's simple, though. All the hundreds of shows are right there at stewart.com/radio. We will see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Real estate matters every Sunday at 5 on AM 950. Feel that real estate vibe. Streaming nationwide on the iHeart app. Join the conversation. It's a real estate map. What's hot in the market? What's moving fast? Bill Knapik leads the way, never comes in last. We'll talk about homes and the best-selling rates, real estate stories that truly relate, with experts gathered around